Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. This is Snapshot 23W51A for Minecraft 1.20.5. Now last Wednesday we got to see the Armadillo and Wolf Armor in Bedrock Preview Edition, and the news is they're in this snapshot. There is one big difference though, these features are not in an experimental data pack that you have to enable. Here on Java Edition, there is no data pack, and it's not part of update 1.21. Let's go ahead and create a world that doesn't have this enabled. So out here in the savannah of a normal Minecraft world, you can find the Armadillo, and that means that they're going to be a part of 1.20.5. I think this means they're likely to be the key focus for this minor update, and it'll probably be finished sometime early next year. But there are other changes coming with this snapshot, and some of them are super interesting. But first, a reminder that we're seeing the Armadillo at its very early stages of development here, and that Mojang are actively looking for our feedback to know what direction to develop these features in. And second, a detail that I might have missed from the Armadillo's feature on Bedrock, but oh, I just broke the glass by punching. Yes, a dispenser can interact with an Armadillo. I've got brushes in all of these. Let's activate a clock. And you can see you can just get a crazy amount of scoots on demand. You could even take this to the next level if you wanted to. Have to put a bit of redstone here to run this, and now it's going even faster. So fast that the hopper can't even keep up with the amount of scoots we're getting. Of course, this kind of farm will absolutely tear through your brushes. As you can see, they get wiped out pretty quick. So I was expecting to see this change, and it might change in the future, you know, the ability just to constantly grab scoots, but I think the reasoning here is that you have to pay the price of making lots of brushes to get lots of scoot. But in this video, we're going to cover everything else first and come back to the Armadillo and the Wolf Armor, as we've already seen that in Bedrock, but we are going to glean a few more insights out of these new additions since we're on Java Edition. And so before we get to it, if you want to stay informed about Minecraft, that's what I do here on the channel, so I encourage you to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Sometimes in life, perspectives can make things confusing, can't they? What's going on here? Oh, I am not flying, I am indeed running along the blocks that you see on the ground in front of me. This is one of a few incredible customizations that have been added to this latest snapshot. These are new attributes, so let's go ahead and target me. The attribute we want to change is generic scale, and we can set this between 16, which is what you just saw, and let's go to the extreme in the opposite direction, 0.0625. Okay, you ready for it? Oh my god! Whoa! Easy! Easy, Xisuma! Jeez! Oh my god, what's going on? This is absolutely hilarious. Also, where have I gone? I'm smaller than the cursor now. I have a question for you. Am I back to the normal height right now? Or is this my normal Minecraft height? Can you even tell the difference? The amount of fun we can have with this, with map making, is just going to be wonderful. Next up for the attributes is the generic block interaction range. Now, you can probably guess what this does, but as I start to use it, it will probably start to feel a little awkward. This is not how things usually work. We can't hit blocks this far away. That is what we are now given control over using these commands to change the player's ability to reach further off into the distance. Look at this. You'll notice, though, that I can't punch this chicken no matter how hard I try. And that's because we also have generic entity interaction range as well. And you know, you can set these like the other way and it will make Minecraft just feel really awkward. You have to get real close to punch these now. And now it's the same for entities. You have to be real close to actually hit them. Now I could modify this so I could hit them from a long distance away. There does seem to be a bug with that though, where I can't get it to actually let me do that. So as I change these values down the bottom here, I'm just getting inconsistent results currently. You know, this could just be me not knowing quite what to do though. And although I've been setting the distance to 64, it does seem like there's actually an upper limit somewhere around 30 blocks possibly. Our fourth and final new attribute is generic step height. By default, this is 0.5, but now I've gone and set it to 1 block. And you know where this is going? 2 blocks. Jumps me all the way up. Let's now set it to 3. Aha. And finally 4. I've just whizzed up these 4 blocks. Wow, that is something. And these attributes don't apply to just the player. They can apply to entities too. I'm not sure if entities are going to be aware that their pathfinding is different because of these attributes, but we can obviously change their scale. Look at this! Now we've got giant turtles. And now I've got a giant villager stuck inside a house. Yep, there's certainly a lot of fun we're going to be able to have with these commands. Now in this snapshot, there's also a lot of changes to rendering, which is going to tidy up how the game looks. For example, you can press F1 and then you can open your chat, whereas previously you wouldn't actually see your chat when doing that. Another example is pressing F3. The text that appears here will now render over the top of the hotbar. Other examples include the player's name rendering on top of the tab screen list of players, a title text rendering again in front of the list on the side of the screen, action bar text rendering over the top of subtitles. The boss bar text would also erroneously render in front of the F3 screen, and it can render over the list of entries on the side of the screen too. The list of examples goes on, but you can see Mojang are clearly focusing on fixing these types of issues in this update. Other changes include the respawn anchor having an ambient sound that was erroneously never used. So let's go ahead and activate this so we can hear it. And these next 2 changes will lead us into our 1.21 changes with the breeze. Now the llama has a spit attack, which is a projectile attack. Previously, this could break armor stands, as could the shulker's shulker bullet attack. So that will no longer break armor stands. And I have a hunch that that might be a good thing for shulker farms. Anyways, this relates to the breeze in 1.21 because it can now categorically break the armor stands with its wind charge attack. And the breeze has a bunch of other changes too, so let's check them out. So the breeze has had its existing sounds tweaked, as well as adding some new ones as well. This one is called whirl, which it will do when it's idle. This one is for charging up an attack. Another idle sound when the breeze is in the air. And lastly, a new sound for deflecting projectiles. There's also a bunch of changes to the breeze's pathfinding and AI and how it interacts with its environment and other entities, so expect the breeze to behave a little different from this snapshot onwards. And in this bug report, it was highlighted that the breeze's glowing eyes effect wasn't friendly to resource packs. So in this snapshot, you can see that there are texture changes to the breeze, and new textures coming in, which are the breeze's glowing eyes. Now in-game, the breeze will look identical to how it was before, but now there is more control over its eyes for resource packs. And in other 1.20 news, the trial spawner block that spawns mob will now have the same loot tables found in a trial chamber by default. So now we can get to the Armadillo and Wolf Armor, but there's been a renaming here. So you got the Armadillo Scute, and now this is known as Turtle Scute. So if you watched my last update video, you'll know that the Wolf Armor is crafted like this. Now you can only use this armor on tamed doggos, so it's not until we've tamed this one that we can put the armor on. And it looks pretty much the same as we saw it in Bedrock Edition. And the question on all our minds is it any stronger? Yep, I'm in survival. Uh-oh. Oh, wait a minute, they all survived? But we can see from their tails that their health is now very low and they're in need of some food. And so like in Bedrock, we can remove the armor using shears. And when the mob dies, it will drop its armor. And to equip it, of course, we right-click on our tamed doggo. And like before, dispensers can't do either of these activities. The website explains all of this, and there's no other details here that are new. It does say it has the same protection as Diamond Horse Armor, which is what we learned last time. But as you saw here in Java, they can survive a very close creeper explosion. So let's hope that that's an intentional change to help keep your doggos alive when you're out adventuring. So now it's the turn of the Armadillo, and here on Java we can simply use a command to help us see them where they're spawning naturally. So in this savanna, there's 4 of them, 2 down here. Okay, and apparently there's 10 more, but I'm just having a hard time spotting them. Oh, there we go, I saw it. 2 of them are down here in the village. So I found more in this area using the command than scanning it manually. They probably have a very similar spawning rate, I'd imagine. And what we can do different on Java Edition is we can see its hitbox, which I'm not sure if it changes when we sprint. I was about to say the overall height might change, but it kind of looks like it's exactly the same spot when it changes. And we can also get all of this information about the Armadillo. And I think the only useful information here is that it has 6 hearts of health, and its movement speed attribute is 0.14. The one thing that I was hoping to find there is how often it periodically drops Armadillo Scute. But anyways, like before, we can brush the Armadillo for its Scute, and its favourite food is spider eyes. So we can use those to breed up a baby armadillo. Now we know that undead mobs will cause these armadillos to roll up into a ball to protect themselves. But on Java Edition, it seems this will also happen if the player is inside of a vehicle. Oh, look at that. I'm just sitting in this thing and it's going to stay in there. Its time is 3 seconds and more than 3 seconds has elapsed. So when I'm in this vehicle, it's just going to stay put. This is also true for when a player is mounted, meaning they're on a horse. So I'm going to stay on here. And again, more than 3 seconds passes and it stays in that state. Now, a moment ago, we learned that these things have 6 hit points of health. So I'm going to conduct a test here. Okay, that took 11 hits to take it down. This time I got a zombie nearby to see if there's any difference when it's curled up in a ball. Okay, punch number 11 and down it goes. So unfortunately, no change there. I hope they make it stronger when it's rolled up. And like before, the 3-second rule applies, and it doesn't roll up if it's fleeing, in water, in the air, or on a leash. So it seems that the Armadillo here in Java is pretty much identical to on Bedrock Edition. And so on that note, we've reached all the things to talk about in this snapshot video. And my guess is that this is going to be the last one of the year, and maybe in the 1st or 2nd week of January next year we'll get another snapshot. So of course, subscribe if you want to catch those future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you with another one soon. Bye bye.